operation of a multi-grade classroom, I want you to indicate whether the following statements are true or false. First, I will be reading the questions and you will answer. For letter A, this will be answered by Teacher Jocel Taghoy. A multi-grade classroom has to be reorganized according to the activities or lessons that will be conducted.
I think the statement in letter A is true.
Absolutely. Thank you, ma'am. For letter B, a multi-grade classroom arrangement is permanent. It does not change throughout the year. What are your thoughts regarding the statement, Teacher Kyla Marie Paglinawan?
Letter B is false.
Thank you. That is correct. For letter C, kindly answer the statement, Teacher Zynie Macario. The timeout area allows the teacher to take a break from the classroom.
For that statement, it is false.
Very good. Thank you. For letter D, kindly give your thoughts regarding the statement, Teacher Jessabel Sobiono. The class shop can help students to develop social, language, and mathematical skills.
For me, it is true.
For the last letter E, this will be answered by yours truly. The chalkboard and cupboards can be any height in a multi-grade classroom. This statement is false. At this juncture, I have another question for you, my dear teachers. Describe how would you arrange your classroom for storytelling. Include a diagram of the seating arrangement in your answer. Let's start with me. How would I describe? So this is the description of the storytelling set up in a classroom that includes numerous grade levels. The students should be situated in a semicircle or horseshoe formation with a teacher in the front. Yes, Teacher Jessa, what are your thoughts about it?
To effectively see the drawings in the teacher's book, the student should be close to the instructor.
Do you have other additional idea, Teacher Zynie?
Also need to be able to hear the teacher well.
What about you, Teacher Jocel?
The placement of the tables and chairs should permit easy movement between the teacher and students.
Do you have any additional thought, Teacher Kyla?
A different option to the said arrangement is to have pupils grouped in a semicircle outside the classroom, possibly under a tree.
Number 3, describe how you would position your desk in your multi-grade classroom and explain why you have selected this arrangement.
The teacher's desk should be located in the east side facing the students so that the teacher can see all areas of the classroom.
Yes, I agree, so that the learners will be able to see and reach the teacher's desk easily.
I would also agree because youngest learners needs to be close to the teacher because they need help more often than older students.
I would also position my desk in the east side of the classroom, facing the students, for me to be able to see and monitor all my students.
So for me, the teacher needs to be close to the students to ensure that the learner does what is required of him or her. So basically, I would also position my desk in the east side of the classroom facing my students.
And how about your opinion on question, how would you use your outside classroom and how would you prepare for the class?
In my end, I would love to use my outside classroom for learners to have some fun while learning math, like have a math challenge cards.
Also, if you are trying to teach physics, you can let students build and play with kites, then start conversations about winds and environment.
I could also use my outside classroom during story time or explaining compass direction or just have a brain break.
Basically, I would use my outside classroom for any activity that requires big space. And to be prepared for class is to plan it ahead of time.
So in order for me to be prepared for the class is to arrive early, and for my outside classroom I would love to have a display of flower pot or mini garden for the naturalist student.
Today, we have 4 multi-grade teachers to showcase their classroom organization for multi-grade classes. Let us start with Teacher Jessa.
And here is my classroom arrangement.
Next is Teacher Jocel.
So this is my classroom plan.
Next is Teacher Kyla.
This is my classroom layout.
The last one is Teacher
So
Zynie.
this is my classroom arrangement.
Why is the physical learning environment important? Let's start with you, Ma'am Jessabel.
It affects how safe, secure, and comfortable students feel.
It provides space for students to explore, interact, and socialize.
It creates a conducive environment which minimizes distractions.
Assist in the pupil's overall intellectual and practical growth.
You know what? In my own observation, physical learning environment encourages a positive outlook and inspires learning in the pupils.
Number 4, list at least 5 areas that could be included in a multi-grade classroom. The areas that should be in each multi-grade classroom include the following: students' desks or tables,
Learning center and reading corner.
Dress up corner or home corner.
Teacher's area including desk and cupboards.
And also, let us not forget the class shop, display area, and chalkboard.
Why does the multi-grade teacher need to be close to the youngest students in the classroom?
The teacher needs to be close to the youngest learners because they need help more often than the older learners.
Because young students are still in the stage where adults' presence are important to them.
Yes, exactly. Because younger learners need to be reassured.
And in addition to that, a teacher also needs to be close to them in order to develop mutual trust and support.
Yes, and most importantly, they need to know that they can rely on their teacher.
What is a timeout area used for?
A timeout area is used to change problem behaviors of students.
And this is where teachers place their pupils in a less reinforcing environment when they are engaged in a inappropriate behavior.
It is important also to have a timeout area because a teacher has to have some way of disciplining the learners.
And it helps teachers to separate the learner from other members of the class.
But also, it is a must not to forget the presence of the learner in the timeout area.
There has been a lot of questions about what is the importance of class shop in a multi-grade classroom. So let's start with you, Ma'am Zynie.
Learners will learn how to use certain tools or necessary things that needs to be learned.
Learners can practice their number skills, language, and mathematical skills.
Also, their social skills since they get to interact with their fellow classmates.
Learners will have a contrived experiences where they would develop life skills.
In my years of experience, I believe class shop gives pupils a chance to develop their critical life skills.
Now, let us hear why teachers in multi-grade schools have language arts center in their classroom. Let us hear from teacher Kyla.
Having a language arts center in the classroom helps students develop their creative thinking skills.
Let us hear from another teacher, Teacher Suziene.
You can provide variety of creative activities that can spark students' creativity.
Also, Language Arts Center can give a pleasant environment where students can explore their creativity in writing, reading, and speaking. Let us hear from two another teachers. First is Teacher Jessabel.
Language Arts Center enables students to express and communicate, express and understand feelings.
The last one is Teacher Jessa.
And most of all, language arts centers allow students to use language in order to communicate an idea.
That's all the news we have for today on the topic of multi-grade classes. We have learned an efficient classroom organization for multi-grade settings. We hope that this broadcast has provided valuable information for both students and educators. Remember, whether you are in a multi-grade class or not, education is a crucial component of our lives. Stay curious and keep learning. Thank you for tuning in.